Very good. Let me.
Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Shuklambaradaram Vishnum Shashivatraturvam Prasannavadanam Dhyaye Sarvopashante Narayanam Padmabhavam Vasishtam Shaktincha Tatputra Parasharancha Vyasam Shukam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govindam Yogendra Atha Asya Shishyam
Govinda Yogindram.
Govinda Yogendranda Atha Asya Shishyam Shri Shankaracharyam Atha Asya Padmapadancha Hastamalakamcha Shishyam Tam Totakam Vartikaram Anyan Asmad Gurun Santam
Santatamana Tosmi.
Santatamanosmi. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pradibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Muninam Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatva Manukandhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshinim. Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullara Vindayata Patra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnam Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaham Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetra Kripanayem Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gitamritahude Namaham Sarvopanishado Gavaha Dogda Gopala Nandanaha Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdam Gitamratam Mahat Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Bhishmadrona Tata Jayadrata Jala Gandharani Lotpala Shalyagrahavati Kripena Vahani Karnena Velakula Ashwathama Vikarna Ghora Makara Duryodhana Vartini Stotirna Khalu Pandavairanadi Kaivartam Keshavaha Paracharya Vatsaroja Mamalam Gitartha Gandhotkatam Nanakhana Kesaram Harikata Sambodhana Bodhitam Loke Sajjana Shatpadairaham Pepiyamanam Muda Bhuyad Bharata Pankajam Kalimala Tradvamsinam Shreyase Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutah Sunmanti Divyastavai Vedya Sangha Padakramopanishadai Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasantam Naviduhu Surasuraganam Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah Hari Om.
Okay. All right. We are just about coming to the conclusion of the 8th chapter. The 8th chapter is, like in the 7th chapter, he showed that he is the Paraprakriti and Aparaprakriti, and that in this he continues in the 8th chapter that theme in various ways, and as a lead to understand that Krishna suggested, made a suggestive or a leading statement, Sadibhutadaivam Sadiyagyanche Viduhu, like for the Arjuna to ask a particular question. And Arjuna got the message and he asked, his chapter began with Arjuna's questions, Kim Tad Brahma Kim Adhyatma, Kim Karma Purushottama, like that. And he had 6 or 7 questions. And in those 7 questions, as Krishna started answering them, basically he said, all these questions that you are asking is an expression of myself. What did he say? He said there, Aksharam Brahma Paramam. Kim Tad Brahma, he asked. Aksharam Brahma Paramam. This Brahma is Akshara, imperishable. And what is Adhyatma Subhava? The natural state is this Adhyatma related to the Atma, but the Atma, Adhyatma. But I have moved away from my natural state of Adhyatma into thinking so many other things like that. And then the karma is Bhutabhava Udbhavakaraha. Karma is a process of wherein you are likely to experience the fruits of it. Adibhutam Charo Bhavaha. So all these bhutas are kshara. They are only temporary. Purushaha Adidaivatam. So various divinities in the body functioning through the body, making the body run through, sustain. That is the Purusha Adidaiva. That Purusha, the Akshara, appears as this Adidaiva. That is how that relationship has to be understood. And Adiyajñohami Matra, I am the Adiyajña, and then Antakale Chamameva Smaran Muktva Kalevaram. If you keep on doing all these activities as my expression and thinking of me alone, Antakale Chamameva Smaran Mukta Kalevaram. So at the time of death, you will get to know me. You will get to recall me, and then you will come to me. That is generally the message in the first 8 or 10 verses. And therefore, in order to achieve this Antakala, coming to think of him at the time of departure, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Mamanusmara Yudhyacha, you practice that. You practice thinking of me all through the life. Then you will come to me. Abhyasa Yoga, he talks. And then he introduces this Omkara Japa. Omkara is another expression of him. Either you can look at Omkara as an expression of him or Omkara as himself. So if we do the Upasana of Omkara as an expression of him, then we are subject to the hopefully at the time of death we can think of him, and then we go through a process of reaching to him. But if I do the Omkara Japa as himself, then there is a chance that I can get a Jivan Mukti. I can get a liberation right here as I am in this life. So, and he says, if you come to me, you will never come back. Whereas if you don't come to me, you will have to come back to this another human life or another life of a being. Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. This land that you return to is an abode of dukkha, sorrow, and it is Ashashvata. You keep coming back and forth. And that he explains, Abrahma Puna Loka Punaravartinorjuna Mamupetyato Kaunteya Punarjanmana Vidyate. And then he says about he discusses there the lifespan of Brahma, creator Brahma, give a measure of how much we will suffer through the cycle of birth and death, how long, and therefore he wants to create a dispassion in us. That all this universe are the expression of him is Dukkhalaya. So I want to go directly to him, not to the expression of him. So with that, he comes to finally Avyakto Akshara Ityukta. See, there are two things. Avyakta is creator Brahma. That is what he has described in some of these verses. and then avyakta and akshara. An avyakta that is qualified by the characteristic of akshara, that is me, he says. Avyakto akshara ityuktaha tamahu paramam gati, that is verse 21. Yam prapya na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. And this avyakta purusha, how am I to then I don't want to come back. How am I to achieve that? Bhaktya labhyaha tu ananyaya. Bhakti in him, the bhakti can start as in the plane of duality. I am different from him. That the duality could exist in the beginning time, in the beginning of the practice as abhyasa, and then as you go along, you come closer to him, and you merge in him. That is the one entity. And how this person, this akshara purusha is yasya antasthani bhutani yena sarvamidam tatam. He is there in all beings in as the pratyagatma, and by him everything is pervading here. And then, okay, then if that is the case, how at the time of death, when should I die? That's the next question he is posing here. Yatra kale tu anavrittim chaiva yoginaha prayatayantam kalam vakshami bharatarshava. He said, I will tell you what time of departure, and you will come to me, and what time of departure you will be within the dukkhalaya. And then he gives actually the time refers to the presiding deities. The one is the bright path, or the path of light, other is the path of darkness. And the path of light begins with, it passes through various deities like Agni Jyoti, the presiding deity of day, and Shukla Paksha and Krishna Paksha, Uttarayana, etc. Only Krishna, Shukla Paksha and Uttarayana. And the path of darkness passes through the night, a presiding deity of night, then the Krishna Paksha, and then the Dakshinayana, like that. And then that's where we stopped in the last class. So there is these two paths, and he says these two paths, he has already given indication in the next life. In the next verse, he starts talking about what is the status of this Shukla Paksha and Krishna Paksha. He says, Shukla Krishne gati hete jagataha shashvate mate ekaya yati anavrittim anyaya vartate punaha. This jagataha, in this universe, yete Shukla Krishne gati shashvate mate. These Shukla path are the path of light, and the Krishna gati or the Krishna, the path of darkness. These two paths are eternally recognized. They are shashvata. They are there all the time. Ekaya anavrittim yati anyaya punaha vartate. Going through the path of this light, you will attain to anavritti, not returning back. But if you happen to go through the path of darkness, which is ignorance, basically that is what the light and darkness indicate. Light indicates knowledge, and darkness indicates ignorance. That we see in our social, in our day-to-day living also. So this you select the path of coming to me through the path of light. That is what we have to understand here. And so he says Shukla and Krishna are the bright and the dark paths. And these two destinations of Shukla and Krishna are for respective competent seekers. You have to have a certain competency to take one of these two paths. I say after your high school, you can take a medical route, or you can take a engineering route, or some other route you can take. But you have to have competence, and we show that competence through certain exams, etc., whatever courses we take, and all those things determine that. So as we develop competency to branch out to different areas of worldly knowledge, so is true in here also. Do we take the path of brightness, or do we take the path of darkness? So there's a competency for either path. It cannot universally apply to all. Everyone cannot, go to medical school or the engineering school or the law school, whatever that is. There are some competency required, and so he is expressing that here. It cannot universally apply to all. The samsara being eternal and permanent, they are called. So why is this path called eternal and permanent? Because samsara itself is eternal and permanent. Samsara being eternal and permanent, there should be a way out for the persons in samsara to navigate, and that is what if samsara is permanent, eternal, then the path should also be there, which is permanent and eternal. That is what he is indicating here. So the paths of Shukla and Krishna are eternal because as long as transmigration exists, as long as samsara exists, these paths have to be necessarily available. The path cannot be, when I die, I have to have a path. There should be a path for me, either the bright path or the dark path, so that I can work out my karma, or I can be relieved of the cycle of birth and death. That is permanent. As long as samsara is there, samsara is permanent. Therefore, these paths are also permanent. So they are to be available to competent persons. So the transmigration is eternal and permanent. Therefore, the paths are also permanent. So the path of brightness is the path of no return, anavarti, sorry, and the path of darkness is the path of return. So depending on our preparation, we will go through one of these two paths. Now, this is a little crowded picture. I have tried to separate them out. Let us see here. See, this is a samsari. Now, this samsari, at the time of death, the physical body is destroyed. Either it is buried or cremated or whatever it is. And then this sukshma sharira that is part of him, that sukshma sharira, it goes through the environment, it goes through the rain, and it goes through the clouds and the rain, and comes back to the food chain and is born again through the food chain. That is samsari. Most of us are in this category. Now, dharmic samsari, there is a difference between the samsari that I'm discussing here and a dharmic samsari. Dharmic samsari means he does all activities or karmas, all karmas prescribed in the Shastra, but he does it with a phalapeksha. He does that karma expecting some fruits out of it, that I either go to Swarga, or I want to come back to another human birth, a superior birth, or whatever that birth is, his desire is. So that is a dharmic samsari. So the dharmic samsari, according to what Krishna says here, he goes through the path of darkness because he is not in the path of self-knowledge. He is in the path of experiencing the fruits of his karma. Therefore, he dhumo ratris, verse 25 applies here. Dhumo ratris tata Krishna chanmasa dakshinayanam tatra chandram samjyotihi yogi prapya nivartate. He goes up to the lunar land, and this jivatma goes to the lunar land, and in the lunar land he experiences a few years, thousands of 1,000 years, or whatever that is, depending on his karma phala. So he experienced. This is also, in this loop, there is also this what is called the mains, going to the Pitraloka. You get to see all your ancestors, etc. And then from there, he goes back to the next life. He returns back to the human other life, just follows this, basically whatever is here, he follows the same route. But the difference between these two is he has between the two human lives, we will take it as human lives, between the two human lives, he has an extra time spent in some better land than the Dukkalaya that the human world is. Now, the Krama Mukti, the person who has done all these karmas that the Dharmic Samsari does without a phalapeksha, without expecting the fruits of action. He has done all the karmas without any expecting the fruits of action, but he has not quite achieved the Jivan Mukti. So what, and then because he's been doing all these karmas as a service to the Lord, in the spirit of Karma Yoga, as offering all karmas to the Paramatma, he is likely to think of the Lord at the time of death. Death is also, if you want to take a stage, and then he is engaged in the upasana of the Deva of Purusha in this at the time of death. Then he goes to the Brahmaloka. He goes to, that is the Agnir Jyoti Shukla 24th verse. Shanmasa Uttarayanam Tatra Prayata Gachanti Brahma Vido Janaha. So those people, they go to the land of Brahma, and then Brahma teaches them more of Adhyatma Vidya. And then when the Brahma's term ends, he may merge in Parabrahma. That is quite possible. And if he still does not do that, if he does not merge in Parabrahma, having been successful in Adhyatma Vidya, he will come back to the human life, just as in these two cases. So the chances of realizing are much better in the Krama Mukti, and because you got the Brahma, the supreme teacher, he is teaching you, and you have qualified yourself to be in that school, school of Brahma, and therefore very likely to succeed. And you will then the subtle body disintegrates and merges in Prakriti, and the Jivatma merges in Paramatma. This is what I call the Jivatma, which is the subtle body and the Atma associated with that. This subtle body is made up of several components. Those components, the subtle body breaks down into those components, and there is no birth because the subtle body is not together. Whereas in these two cases, in the Dharmic Samsari and the Samsari, the Jivatma, the subtle body is intact. Being intact, it has the no option but to come back to another human life or Dukkalaya. Now the Jivan Mukta, one who has, even as he is living here, he has realized Brahma. Like, we give always examples of Ramana Maharshi or Sri Ramakrishna, etc. So the body, as like anybody else's body, his body also is destroyed, because body is physical. There is nothing, that body, there is, in all the four cases, the destruction of the body is common. It's only a combination of few materials, and that is destroyed. Now here itself, the subtle body, as he is living in the as a Jivan Mukta. When he drops his body, the subtle body has no more to that subtle body, the Jivatma has no more to achieve or no more to engage in karma or anything, and therefore it is the subtle body that contains all the karma phalas and all those things. And when the subtle body, when Jivan Mukta,
No sound.
leaves the body.
Lost your audio?
I lost my audio.
Yeah.
Now you came back.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe that was
Oh.
internet problem, I guess.
Yeah,
Okay,
go back.
all right. I'll repeat.
Yeah.
So as a Jivan Mukta, the even for a Jivan Mukta, the physical body, the gross body is destroyed. But in this case, the subtle body does not leave the gross body at all. The subtle body kind of merges with various components of the Prakriti right there itself. See, if the subtle body is to leave, then the subtle body has to come back. No, so the subtle body is just being disintegrated within the body, and then the uh, body is destroyed, and he has achieved Jivan Mukti, because he is living in Brahma. When you say he is realized, he is in the Paramatma. Paramatma does not have the subtle body and the physical body, and therefore this physical body absorbs the materials of the subtle body, and then finally that is destroyed. So these are the four aspects that is being discussed in this chapter. Samsari, Dharmik Samsari, Krama Mukti. This is the Agnir Jyotirah Shuklaha, verse 24. And this is not so much explained in this verse. The Dharmik Samsari is verse 25. And one who does not qualify for these two ends up as a samsari. One who has exceeded these two, the Krama Mukti, he is a Jivan Mukta. He has no Krita Kritya is one other word you can use. Whatever is to be achieved, he has achieved. What is to be achieved? Realization. And for that, a body is required. To achieve Jivan Mukti, you need a body. And when the Jivan Mukti is achieved, Krita Kritya, he has no more need for a body, and therefore the physical body as well as the subtle body disintegrates and disappears, and the physical body is taken care of by cremation or burial, whatever that is. Shukla Krishna Gati Ete. No, to this chapter we will finish the 3 times.
Shukla Krishna Gati Ete. Shukla Krishna Gati Ete.
Jagataha Shashvate Mate.
Jagataha Shashvate Mate. Jagataha Shashvate Mate.
Shukla Krishna Gati Ete. Jagata Shashvate Mate.
Shukla Krishna Gati Ete. Jagata Shashvate Mate. Shukla Krishna Gati Ete. Jagata Shashvate Mate. Shukla Krishna Gati Ete. Jagata Shashvate Mate.
Ekaya Yati Anavrittim.
Ekaya Yati Anavrittim. Ekaya Yati Anavrittim.
Anyaya Vartate Punaha.
Anyaya Vartate Punaha. Anyaya Vartate Punaha.
Ekaya Yatyanavrittim. Anyaya Vartate Punaha.
Ekaya Yatyanavrittim. Anyaya Vartate Punaha. Ekaya Yatyanavrittim. Anyaya Vartate Punaha. Ekaya Yatyanavrittim. Anyaya Vartate Punaha.
Shukla Krishna Gati Hete. Jagata Shashvate Mate. Ekaya Yatyanavrittim. Anyaya Vartate Punaha.
Shukla Krishna Gati Hete. Jagata Shashvate Mate. Ekaya Yatyanavrittim. Anyaya Vartate Punaha. Shukla Krishna Gati Hete. Jagata Shashvate Mate. Ekaya Yatyanavrittim. Anyaya Vartate Punaha. Shukla Krishna Gati Ete. जगतः शाश्वते मते एकया यात्यनावृत्तिम् अन्यया वर्तते पुनः
24 to 26. Agnirjyotirah Shuklaha Shanmasa Uttarayanam Tatra Prayata Gachanti Brahma Vido Janaha Dhumo Ratristatha Krishnaha Shanmasa Dakshinayanam Tatra Chandrama Samjyoti Yogi Prapya Nivartate Shukla Krishne Gati Hete Jagata Shashvate Mate Ekaya Yatyanavrittim Anyaya Vartate Punaha Naite Sruti Partha Janan Yogi Muhyati Kaschana Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Yoga Yukto Bhavarjuna. Now, what he is saying in this verse is very important. Artha yete sruti janan kaschana yogi namyati. Now, properly understanding these two paths, the path of brightness and the path of darkness, a yogi, a seeker of Atma Vidya, a seeker of self-knowledge, he will not be deluded. He will not choose one. Deluded means he is not confused. He is not. He does not want one of these two paths. He wants Jivan Mukti. That is what he is leading to. So, having known these two paths and the difficulties associated with these two paths, a real seeker who has a full knowledge of these two paths, he will not be deluded. He cannot be fooled to take one of these two paths. Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Yoga Yuktaha Bhava. Therefore, all the time you be engaged in yoga. Yoga here we have to take it as Atma Yoga, Atma Jnana Yoga. So the yogi knowing these two paths, he will not be deluded. You cannot confuse him with to take one of these two alternate paths. Therefore, Arjuna, be resolute at all times to become a yogi. You don't give up your goal of achieving the Jivan Mukti or the self-knowledge as you are living here. So that the above two paths described, one is a non-returnable path of liberation and the other is a returnable path of transmigration. So these two paths, this person will not be deluded. But even the non-returnable path has some additional question mark or the doubts whether you will really be non-returnable or you will return, because he has said in one of the verses earlier, that verse is Abrahma Bhuvana Lokaha Punaravartinorjuna, that is verse 16, Mamopetyato Kaunteya Punarjanmanam Vidyate. Even going to the land of Brahma, there is a question mark whether you can really not come back. So here Krishna is now zeroing in on the path of the Atma Yoga. Shruti means path. So those are the Shukla path and the Krishna path, or the Uttarayana and Dakshinayana path. So the yogi who knows the secrets of these two paths. What are the secrets? The secrets is, of course, one is returnable, another is mostly non-returnable, but there is a question mark. So he clearly knows the paths of liberation. And so for him, what is it's like saying a bird in hand is worth two in bush. If you can get Jivan Mukti right here itself, then the question of taking one of these two paths, that question itself does not arise. And therefore, you strive to follow that path of liberation and attain to liberation. This is this yogi who knows the value or the limitations of the two paths, the Shukla path and the Krishna path. he will reject the path that will bring him back to transmigration. Thus, therefore, he is not deluded, he is not confused. May you pursue that path of liberation. For you, the option is very clear. You want to take the path that is very certain for you, and don't strive yourselves so that you may have to come back. So therefore, Arjuna, how do you do that? How do you not, how do you avoid coming back to one of these two paths, going to one of these two paths? Be integrated in yoga. Yoga yukta, be yoga yukta means you always be associated with Atma Yoga. May you not be deluded by these paths of Shukla and Krishna. This is a superior path, the path of Atma Yoga, the path of Jivan Mukti. That is a superior yoga. And what is the yoga that he has said earlier in the 5th chapter? Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. It comes in the 2nd chapter also. So Samatva. Samatva means equanimity in everything. There is only, equanimity comes only when you identify the other person as yourself. And that is the issue of living in Atma, not in Deha Buddhi, Atma Buddhi. Live in Atma Buddhi, that is Samat, because the Atma of you and the Atma of me being the same, Samatvam comes naturally. In the body, your body is different, my body is different, and therefore the Samatva is almost impossible. So therefore, you follow this path of Yoga Yukta, be integrated in yoga. Don't be deluded by the paths following death. Following death, you have the choice of one of these two, but don't work for them, work for the Atma Yoga, because Atma Yoga is easier than even the Brahma, going to Brahma Loka, because there if Brahma, we still have, from what we see in today's in the calculation, Brahma Pararde, second half has just begun. If you take what is that, 31 trillion years of Brahma, creator Brahma, even today, if we have to say we qualify to go to Brahma Loka, then Brahma still has, this is his 51st year. That is what the Shastras say. So you have the half of 31 trillion, you still have to negotiate 16 trillion, 15 and a half to 16 trillion years. So instead of that, this path of Jivan Mukti is easier. That's what Krishna is saying, that you can experience it right here, whereas the going to the lower land of Brahma, it happens sometimes, it may or it may not. Nayete Sruti Partha.
Nayete Sruti Partha. Nayete Sruti Partha.
Janan Yogi Muhyati Kaschana.
Janan Yogi Muhyati Kaschana. Janan Yogi Muhyati Kaschana.
Naite Sruti Partha. Janan Yogi Muhyati Kaschana.
Naite Sruti Partha. Janan Yogi Muhyati Kaschana. Naite Sruti Partha. Janan Yogi Muhyati Kaschana. Naite Sruti Partha. Janan Yogi Muhyati Kaschana.
Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu.
Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu. Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu.
Yoga Yukta Bhava Arjuna.
Yoga Yukta Bhava Arjuna. Yoga Yukta Bhava Arjuna.
Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu. Yoga Yukto Bhava Arjuna.
Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu. Yoga Yukto Bhava Arjuna. Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu. Yoga Yukto Bhava Arjuna. Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu. योगयुक्तो भवार्जुन
नैते श्रुति पार्थ जानन् योगी मुह्यति कश्चन तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु योगयुक्तो भवार्जुन
नैते श्रुति पार्थ जानन् योगी मुह्यति कश्चन तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु योगयुक्तो भवार्जुन नैते श्रुति पार्थ जानन् योगी मुह्यति कश्चन तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु योगयुक्तो भवार्जुन नैते श्रुति पार्थ जानन् योगी मुह्यति कश्चन तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु योगयुक्तो भवार्जुन
25 to 27 ओमो रात्रिस्तथा कृष्णः षण्मासा दक्षिणायनम् तत्र चान्द्रमसं ज्योतिः योगी प्राप्य निवर्तते शुक्लकृष्णे गति हेते जगतः शाश्वते मते एकयात्मयानावृत्तिम् अन्यया वर्तते पुनः नैते श्रुति पार्थ योगी मुह्यति कश्चन तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु योगयुक्तो भवार्जुन. So how do you become yoga yukta? How do you become an atma yogi, integrated in the atma in your life? Then he says in the last verse, Vedeshu yajneshu tapassu chaiva daneshu yat punyapalam pradishtam atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva yogi param stanamupaiti chadyam. He says, idam viditva, yogi idam viditva, the seeker having known this, known what? He has described in the previous verses, the two paths of the one path of return, another path of non-return. Though yet punya phalam pradishtam, those virtuous deeds and their outcomes has been declared. How does a person go to that one of those paths? I said samsari, dharmic samsari. Dharmic samsari is what is being described here basically. The dharmic samsari is engaged in Vedic studies, yajna, tapas and dana. That is what, so yat punya phalam pradishtam, those virtuous deeds and their outcomes being declared, like what? Vedeshu, yajneshu cha, tapassu, daneshu. Vedas, sacrifices, austerities and charities. A person doing these Vedic rituals with the desire of getting, hoping to get punya phala, that path, Tatsarvam eva atyeti. A person who knows this, these two paths and their loopholes, Tatsarvam eva atyeti. Having transcended all these, he transcends the punya phala associated with Vedas, yajna, tapas and dana. Cha adyam param sthanam upaiti. He reaches that eternal supreme state, that state of Akshara Parabrahma. So the choice before the persons are, one is live a dharmic living as described in the Vedas, Veda, Yajna, Tapas and Dana. And then you will get to some benefits. But he says to Arjuna here and to all of us, yet punya palam pradishtam, no, the virtuous deeds and their outcome have been declared. You go beyond that. He reaches, this person has transcend the temporary benefits that a person gets out of these Vedic rituals, that punya phala that comes out of the Vedic rituals. You transcend that, you go beyond that, and you become a yogi, atma yogi. So the various karmas, what does the study of Veda means? there is the Veda and the Vedanga. There is there is the 4 Vedas, Yajurveda, Samveda, Rigveda, and Atharvana Veda. And then along with in order to understand the import of these 4 Vedas, you have to understand the 6 Vedangas, Vyakarana, Jyotisha, there are 6 Shiksha, there are 6 of them, the Vedas sub-branches of Veda. All that, if you know, you need the 6 Vedic branches to understand the Vedas. So a yajna performed in accordance with the described procedures. Yajna has a certain rules, and like any other thing has a certain performance rules. Yajna also has certain performance rules. Like you have to have a purohita, you have to do the karma, you have to give a dakshina to the purohita, and all those things are being discussed in the yajna. So yajna is the material sacrifices. A well-performed tapas, austerity. Now, austerity can be of 2 kinds. The austerity seeking the grace of God. That is what we see in many Puranas. And tapas as an austerity of the body, speech, and mind. In the 17th chapter, Krishna talks about these 3 tapas associated with body, speech, and mind. I think 17, 14, 15, and 16. So those also possible. And the idea here is the tapas associated with body, speech, and mind helps in becoming a yoga yukta, an integrated person right here. So and an appropriate charity. We do offer charities for so many things. Dana offered to a rightful person at the right place and right time. See, according to our shastras, dana has to have a certain procedure there also, and you have to identify the right time for giving. You have to give it to the right person and at the right place. You cannot give a dana somewhere in public. It has to be something in a private setting associated with an event or something like that. And this dana, if you really speak, it really reflects the Sanskriti or the philosophical outlook itself. See, for example, in the Western culture, there you have only one life. You have one life and you want to maximize the outcome of this life. So the organized charities that we see, giving to hospitals or any society that is serving people, like food kitchen, etc., etc. These are all good, but these are all in the context of one life. That is not. See, you give money to give a charity to an organization, let us say. You don't know fully well, and they do declare certain things, but how the money is being used, that is not fully well known. Anyway, that is beside the point. What I'm trying to say is the ethos of giving is different in the Western culture and in the Eastern culture, like in the Vedic culture. Now, the Vedic culture is, we have been going through this return life again and again and again. And therefore, my giving has to reflect the philosophy behind this either returning path or the Jivan Mukti, one of those 2. So in fact, there was I think, when that Microsoft CEO, what's his name?
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates, when he went to India, he made a comment, public comment somewhere, that Indians are not good at giving. Indians don't participate in giving. That is a kind of something like that. He made a comment, and there was an Indian scholar, Hindu scholar, who wrote a response to that. And he talks about this ethos of giving. The ethos of giving in the Hindu culture is different from the ethos of giving in the Western culture. All right, it has a place. In the Western culture, they go to heaven. if they do good things, they go to heaven. And that is all that is required for them. And from their perspective, is organized giving, giving to organized charities has a role. But in the Hindu ethos, that is not per se enough. There is more to it. That is what is described by giving to a rightful person at the right place and the right time. So all that collection of virtues, that is yajna, dana, tapas, and dana, Krishna says, understand them with the reference to the answers for the 7 questions you posed earlier. Kim tad brahma, kim adhyatma, kim karma purushottama. He asked those questions. And Krishna, what was his answer? Here, he says, Aksharam Brahma Paramam. Everything is my expression. That is what these 3 verses, these 3 or 4 verses talk about. Swabhavaha adhyatma, bhuta bhava udbhavaha karma. Everything relates to the understanding of the Paramatma, and the nature of Paramatma is Akshara. The nature of Bhuta is Kshara. So Purushaha, who is this Purusha? He asked. Adidaivatam. There are different activities happening in the body, and these activities are presided over by certain deities. We do this when we do the, when we do a puja, we do what is called a nyasa. And in the nyasa, what we do, we identify the deities, divinities that are functioning in the body. In Rudra Lagun Nyasa, it is, it takes 5 minutes to do the entire identification. If you take Rudra Mahanyasa, it takes 1 hour to identify all the divinities associated with the functioning in the body. So, and Antakale Chamameva Smaranmukta Kalevaram. So, like this, he gave certain answers to those questions. And here Krishna is saying, this is the Shankaracharya's comment goes like this, that you understand them with reference to those answers to those 7 questions. Basically, everything is Paramatma or an expression of Paramatma. Now, if you only focus on the expression of Paramatma, you are limiting yourself. You understand them as Paramatma itself. So, following those, the yogi will exceed that collection of virtues, Punya Pradam, he says, with various Vedic activities, various rituals. He will, if you follow all your activities, keeping in mind the answers to those 7 questions, you will transcend all these virtues of the Punya Phalas, and he will attain to the highest state of Ishvara and merge in Karana Brahma. Karana Brahma is this Paramatma. So Krishna is telling all of us that these answers to these 7 questions is spiritually more beneficial than the path of liberation that this study of Vedas, etc., would provide. That is the path of liberation, possibly through the bright path, the path of light. So he will attain to eternal land of Brahma, one who transcends these Vedic rituals and their benefits. So, if you practice those principles enunciated in the 7 questions, in the answers to the 7 questions, you will exceed those virtues, and you will be on the path towards Atma Yoga. Like these various activities are like doing some amount of good work. But he gives an example. One of the commentators gives an example. I can go to all the sacred rivers and I can take a dip in all the Ganga River, the Godavari River, Kaveri River, Amazon River, whatever river, Missouri, Mississippi River. They all have a certain dip in the river has a sanctification. But if you take a dip in the ocean, it is like taking a dip in the all the rivers of the world, because they are all the rivers merge in the ocean. Therefore, all these activities merge in me. All these Vedic rituals, they merge in me. You may as well come to me directly instead of going through the Vedic rituals. Seems to be his answer to this Arjuna's question here. So, this is about the commentary on this verse. Generally, you will do well, you will get liberation by an easier path if you, instead of looking at my expression, look at me and follow the guidelines that I have given you in those 7, in the answers to those 7 questions. Vedeshu yajneshu tapasu cha eva.
Vedeshu yajneshu tapassu cha eva. Vedeshu yajneshu tapassu cha eva.
Daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam.
Daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam. Daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam.
Vedeshu yajneshu tapassu chaiva. Daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam.
Vedeshu yajneshu tapassu chaiva. Daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam. Vedeshu yajneshu tapassu chaiva. Daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam. Vedeshu yajneshu tapassu chaiva. Daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam.
Atyeti tat sarvam idam viditva.
Atyeti yat tat sarvam idam viditva. Atyeti tat sarvam idam viditva.
Yogi param sthanam upaiti cha adyam.
Yogi param sthanam upaiti chadyam. Yogi param sthanam upaiti chadyam.
Atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva. Yogi param sthanam upaiti chadyam.
Atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva. Yogi param sthanam upaiti chadyam. Atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva. Yogi param sthanam upaiti chadyam. Atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva. Yogi param sthanam upaiti chadyam.
Vedeshu yajneshu tapassu chaiva. Daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam. Atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva. Yogi param sthanam upaiti chadyam.
Vedeshu yajneshu tapassu chaiva. Daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam. Atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva. Yogi param sthanam upaiti chadyam. Vedeshu yajneshu tapassu chaiva. Daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam. Atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva. Yogi param sthanam upaiti chadyam. Vedeshu yajneshu tapassu chaiva. Daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam. Atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva. Yogi param sthanam upaiti chadyam.
Okay, the last 3 verses 26, 27, 28. Shukla Krishna gati hete jagata shashvate mate ekaya yatyana vrittim anyaya vattate punaha naite sati partha janam yogi mushyati kaschana tasmat sarveshu kaleshu yoga yukto bhavarjuna vedeshu yajneshu tapassu chaiva दानेषु यत् पुण्यफलं प्रदिष्टम् अत्येति तत्सर्वमिदं विदित्वा योगी परं स्थानमुपैति चाद्यम्। ॐ तत्सत् इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुन संवादे अक्षरपरब्रह्मयोगो नाम अष्टमोऽध्यायः। All right, let us start with the 6th chapter. Antigaru, you can start.
Okay. Sri Krishna Paramatmane Namaha. Atha Shashtodhyayah Atma Sanyama Yogaha. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Anasrita Karma Phalam Karyam Karma Karoti Yaha Sasanyasi Cha Yogi Cha Narignirna Chakriyah Yam Sanyasamiti Prahur Yogam Tam Vidhi Pandava Nahyai Sanyasta Sankalpo Yogi Bhavati Kaschana Arurukshor Munir Yogam Karma Karana Muchyate Yogarudhasya Tasyaiva Shamak Karana Muchyate Yada hinendriyardheshu na karma svanusajjate sarva sankalpa sannyasi yogarudhastadochate uddharedatmanatmanam atmanam avasadayet atmaiva hyatmano bandhur atmaiva ripuratmanah Bandhuratmatmanastasya yenatmaivatmana jitaha anatmanastu shatrutve vartetatmaiva shatruvat jitatmana prashantasya paramatma samahitaha sitoshna sukha dukkheshu tatha manapamanayoh Jnana Vijnana Truptatma Kutastho Vijitendriyaha Yukta Ityuchyate Yogi Samalostasma Kanchanaha Suhrun Mitrar Udasina Madhyasthadveshya Bandhushu Sadhushvapi cha papeshu Samabuddhir Visishyate Yogi yungita satatam atmanam rahasi sthitaha ekaki yata chittatma nirasira parigraha
Suchau deshe pratisthapya sthiramasanamaatmanah Natyuchitram nati nicham chailajina kushorattaram Tatra kagram manah kritva yata chittendriya kriyaha Upavishyasane yunyat yogamatma vishuddhaye Samam kaya shiro grivam dharayanna chalam sthiraha Samprekshya nasikagram swam dishaschanavalokayan Prashant
Prashantatma Vigata
Akila ji, you went in mute. please.
Evam
Sorry.
sadatmanam
Prashantatma vigatabhi Brahma Sthitaha Manasamyamya Machitto Yukta Asita Matparaha Yunjan Evam Sadatmanam योगी
नियतमा
मनसः शान्तिं निर्वाण परमां मत्संस्थामधिगच्छति नात्यश्नतस्तु योगोऽस्ति न चैकान्तमश्नतः न चाति स्वप्नशीलस्य जाग्रतो नैव चार्जुन युक्ताहारविहारस्य युक्तचेष्वस्य कर्मसु युक्तस्वप्नावबोधस्य योगो भवति दुःखः यदा विनियतं चित्तम् आत्मन्येवावतिष्ठते निःस्पृहः सर्वकामेभ्यो युक्त इत्युच्यते तदा यथा दीपो निवातस्थो निज्यते सोपमा स्मृता योगिनो यत चित्तस्य युञ्जतो योगमात्मनः यत्रो परमते चित्तं निरुद्धं योगसेवया यत्र चैवात्मानं पश्यन्नात्मनि तुष्यति
सुखमात्यन्तिकं यत्यत् बुद्धिग्राह्यमतीन्द्रियम् वेत्ति यत्र न चैवायं स्थितश्चलति तत्त्वतः यं लब्धा चापरं लाभं मन्यते नाधिकं ततः यस्मिन् स्थितो न दुःखेन गुरुणापि विचाल्यते तं विद्या दुःखसंयोगवियोगं योगसंज्ञितं स निश्चयेन योक्तव्यो योगो निर्वण्णचेतसा संकल्पप्रभवान् कामान् त्यक्त्वा सर्वान् शेषतः मनसैवेन्द्रियग्रामं विनियम्य समन्ततः शनैः शनैरुपरमेत् बुद्ध्या धृतिगृहीतया आत्मसंस्थं मनः कृत्वा न किञ्चिदपि चिन्तयेत् यतो यतो निश्चरति मनश्चञ्चलमस्थिरम् ततस्ततो नियम्यैतत् आदात्तात्मन्येव वशं ययेत् प्रशान्तमनसं ह्येनं योगिनं सुखमुत्तमम् उपैति शान्तरजसं ब्रह्मभूतमकल्मषम् युञ्जन्नेवं सदात्मानं योगी विगतकल्मषः सुखेन ब्रह्म संस्पर्शम् अत्यन्तं सुखमश्नुते सर्वभूतस्थमात्मानं सर्वभूतानि चात्मनि ईक्षते योगयुक्तात्मा सर्वत्र समदर्शनः यो मां पश्यति सर्वत्र सर्वं च मयि पश्यति तस्याहं न प्रणश्यामि स च मे न प्रणश्यति
सर्वभूतस्थितं यो मां भजत्येकत्वमास्थितः सर्वथा वर्तमानोऽपि स योगी मयि वर्तते आत्मौपम्येन सर्वत्र समं पश्यति योऽर्जुन सुखं वा यदि वा दुःखं स योगी परमो मतः अर्जुन उवाच योऽयं योगस्त्वया प्रोक्तः साम्येन मधुसूदन एतस्याहं न पश्यामि चञ्चलत्वात् स्थितिं स्थिराम् चञ्चलं हि मनः कृष्ण प्रमादी फलवद्दृढं तस्याहं निग्रहं मन्ये वायोरिव सुदुष्करम् श्रीभगवानुवाच असंशयं महाबाहो मनो दुर्निग्रहं चलम् अभ्यासेन तु कौन्तेय वैराग्येण च गृह्यते असंयतात्मना योगः दुष्प्राह इति मे मतिः वश्यात्मना तु यतता शक्यो वाप्नुमुपायतः अर्जुन उवाच अयति श्रद्धयोपेतः योगाच्चलितमानसः अप्राप्य योगसंसिद्धिं कां गतिं कृष्ण गच्छति कच्चिन्नो भयविभ्रष्टः छिन्नाभ्रमिव नश्यति अप्रतिष्ठो महाबाहो विमूढो ब्रह्मणपति एतन्ये संशयं कृष्ण चेतुमर्हस्य शेषतः त्वदन्यः संशयस्य चेता न ह्युपपद्यते श्रीभगवानुवाच पार्थ नैवेह नामृत विनाशस्तस्य विद्यते न हि कल्याणकृत् कश्चित् दुर्गतिं तात गच्छति प्राप्य पुण्यकृतां लोकान् उषित्वा शाश्वतिः समाः शुचीनां श्रीमतां गेहे योगभ्रष्टोऽभिजायते अथवा योगिनामेव कुले भवति धीमताम् एतद्धि दुर्लभतरं लोके जन्म यदीदृशम् तत्र तं बुद्धिसंयोगं लभते पौर्वदेहिकं यतते च ततो भूयः संसिद्धौ कुरु नन्दन पूर्वाभ्यासेन तेनैव क्रियते ह्यवसोऽपि सः जिज्ञासुरपि योगस्य शब्दब्रह्माति वर्तते प्रयत्नाद्यतमानस्तु योगी संशुद्धकिल्बिषः अनेकजन्म संसिद्धः ततो याति परां गतिम् तपस्विभ्योऽधिको योगी ज्ञानिभ्योऽपि मतोऽधिकः कर्मिभ्यश्चाधिको योगी तस्माद् योगी भवार्जुन योगिनामपि सर्वेषां मद्गतेनान्तरात्मना श्रद्धावान् भजते यो मां न मे युक्ततमो मतः ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे आत्मसंयमयोगो नाम षष्ठोऽध्यायः।
ओम श्री परमात्मने नमः। अथ सप्तमोऽध्यायः ज्ञान विज्ञान योगः। श्री भगवानुवाच मय्यासक्तमनः पार्थ योगं युञ्जन्मदाश्रयः असंशयं समग्रं मां यथा ज्ञास्यसि तच्छृणु ज्ञानं तेऽहं सविज्ञानम् इदं वक्ष्याम्यशेषतः यत् ज्ञात्वा नेह भूयोऽन्यत् ज्ञातव्यमवशिष्यते मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु कच्चिदत्तति सिद्धये एततामपि सिद्धानां कच्चिन्मात् वेत्ति तत्त्वतः भूमिरापो नलो वायुः खं मनो बुद्धिरेव च अहंकार इति यं मे भिन्ना प्रकृतिरष्टधा अपरेयमितस्त्वन्यां प्रकृतिं विद्धि मे परां जीवभूता महाबाहो ययेदं धार्यते जगत् एतदोनीनि भूतानि सर्वाणीत्युपधारय अहं कृत्स्नस्य जगतः प्रभव प्रलयस्तथा मत्तः परतरं नान्यत् किञ्चिदस्ति धनञ्जय मयि सर्वमिदं प्रोतं सूत्रे मणिगणा इव रसोऽहमप्सु कौन्तेय प्रभास्मि शशिसूर्ययोः प्रणवः सर्ववेदेषु शब्दः खे पौरुषं ऋषु पुण्यो गन्धः पृथिव्याञ्च तेजश्चास्मि विभावसौ जीवनं सर्वभूतेषु तपश्चास्मि तपस्विषु बीजं मां सर्वभूतानां विद्धि पार्थ सनातनं बुद्धिर्बुद्धिमतामस्मि तेजस्तेजस्विनामहम्
बलं बलवतां चाहं कामरागविवर्जितं धर्माविरुद्धो भूतेषु कामोऽस्मि भरतर्षभ ये चैव सात्विका भावा राजसास्तामसाश्च ये मत्त एवेति तान् विद्धि न त्वहं तेषु ते मयि त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावै एभिः सर्वमिदं जगत् मोहितं नाभिजानाति मामेभ्यः परमव्ययम् दैवी एषा गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्यया मामेव ये प्रपद्यन्ते मायामेतां तरन्ति ते न मां दुष्कृतिनो मूढाः प्रपद्यन्ते नराधमाः माययापहृतज्ञानाः आसुरं भावमाश्रिताः चतुर्विधा भजन्ते मां जनाः सुकृतिनोऽर्जुन आर्थो जिज्ञासुरर्थार्थी ज्ञानी च भरतर्षभ तेषां ज्ञानी नित्ययुक्तः एकभक्तिर्विशिष्यते प्रियो हि ज्ञानिनोत्यर्थम् अहं स च मम प्रियः उदारा सर्व एवैते ज्ञानी त्वात्मैव मे मतम् आस्तितः स हि युक्तात्मा मामेवानुत्तमां गतिम् बहुनां जन्मनामन्ते ज्ञानवान् मां प्रपद्यते वासुदेवः सर्वमिति स महात्मा सुदुर्लभः कामैस्तैस्तैर्हृतज्ञाना प्रपद्यन्ते न्यदेवताः तं नियममास्थाय प्रकृत्या नियता स्वया
यो यां यां तनुं भक्तः श्रद्धयार्चितुमिच्छति तस्याचला श्रद्धां तामेव विदधाम्यहम् सतया श्रद्धया युक्तः तस्याधाधनमीहते लभते च ततः कामान् मय्यैव विहितान् हितान् अन्तवत्तु फलं तेषां तद्भवत्यल्पमेधसां देवान् देवयजो यान्ति मद्भक्ता यान्ति मामपि अव्यक्तं व्यक्तिमां पन्नं मन्यन्ते मां बुद्धयः परं भावमजानन्तो ममाव्ययमनुत्तमम् नाहं प्रकाशः सर्वस्य योगमाया समावृतः मूढोऽयं नाभिजानाति लोको मामजमव्ययम् वेदाहं समतीतानि वर्तमानानि चार्जुन भविष्याणि च भूतानि मां तु वेद न कश्चन इच्छा द्वेषसमुत्थेन द्वन्द्वमोहेन भारत सर्वभूतानि सम्मोहं सर्गे यान्ति परन्तप येषां त्वतन्तगतं पापं जनानां पुण्यकर्मणां ते द्वन्द्वमोहनिर्मुक्ताः भजन्ते मां दृढव्रताः जरामरणमोक्षाय मामाश्रित्य यतन्ति ये ते ब्रह्मति द्विद्धु कृष्णम् अध्यात्मं कर्म चाखिलम् साधिमूताधिदैवं मां साधियज्ञ च ये विदुः प्रयाणकालेऽपि च मां ते विदुर्युक्ताः युक्तः चेतसः। ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्ण अर्जुन संवादे
अत अष्टमोऽध्यायः अक्षरपरब्रह्मयोगः। अर्जुन उवाच किं तद्ब्रह्म किमध्यात्मं किं कर्म पुरुषोत्तम अधिभूतं च किं प्रोक्तम् अधिदैवं किमुच्यते अधियज्ञकतं कोत्र देहेऽस्मिन् मधुसूदन प्रयाणकाले च कथं ज्ञेनोऽसि नियतात्मभिः। श्रीभगवानुवाच अक्षरं ब्रह्म परमं स्वभावोऽध्यात्ममुच्यते भूतभावोद्भवकरो विसर्गः कर्म संज्ञितः अधिभूतं क्षरो भावः पुरुषश्चादिदैवतम् अधियज्ञो ह्यमेवात्र देहे देहभृतां वरा अन्तकाले च मामेव स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कलेवरं यः प्रयाति समद्भावं याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः यं यं वापि स्मरन् भावं त्यजत्यं ते कलेवरं तं तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितः तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मरयुध्य च मयर्पिता मनो बुद्धिः मामे वैश्यस्य संशयम् अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन चेतसा नान्यगामिना परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन् कविं पुराणमनुशासितारम् अनोरणीयां समनुस्मरेद्यः सर्वस्य दातारमचिन्त्य रूपम् आदित्यवर्णं तमसः परस्तात् प्रयाणकाले मनसाचलेन भक्त्या युक्तो योगबलेन चैव भ्रुवोर्मध्ये प्राणमावेश्य सम्यक् सतं परं पुरुषमुपैति दिव्यम्।
यदक्षरं वेदविदो वदन्ति विशन्ति यद्यतयो वीतरागाः यदिच्छन्तो ब्रह्मचर्यं चरन्ति तत्ते पदं सङ्ग्रहेण प्रवक्ष्ये सर्वद्वाराणि संयम्य मनोहृदि निरुध्य च मूर्ध्याधायात्मनः प्राणम् अस्थितो योगधारणाम् ओमित्येकाक्षरं ब्रह्म व्याहरन् मामनुस्मरन् यः प्रयाति त्यजं देहं स याति परमां गतिम् अनन्यचेताः सततं यो मां स्मरति नित्यशः तस्याहं सुलभं पार्थ नित्ययुक्तस्य योगिनः मामुपेत्य पुनर्जन्म दुःखालयमशाश्वतं नाप्नुवन्ति महात्मानः संसिद्धिं परमां गताः आब्रह्मभुवनाल्लोकाः पुनरावर्तिनोऽर्जुन मामुपेत्य तु कौन्तेय पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते सहस्रयुगपर्यन्तम् अहर्यद्ब्रह्मणो विदुः रात्रिं युगसहस्रान्तां देहोदात्मविदो जनाः अव्यक्ताद्व्यक्तयः सर्वाः प्रभवन्त्यहरागमे रात्र्यागमे प्रलीयन्ते तत्त्वैर्वाव्यक्तसंज्ञके भूतग्रामः स एवायं भूत्वा 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 प्रलीयते तात्यागमे वशः पार्थ प्रभवत्यहदागमे पदस्तस्मात्तु भावोऽन्यो अव्यक्तो व्यक्तात् सनातनः यस्य सर्वेषु भूतेषु नश्यत्सु न विनश्यति।
अव्यक्तोऽक्षर इत्युक्तः समाहुः परमां गतिं यं प्राप्य न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम पुरुषः स परः पार्थ भक्ता लभ्यस्त्वनन्यया यस्यान्तस्थानि भूतानि येन सर्वमिदं ततं यत्र काले त्वनावृत्तिम् आवृत्तिं चैव योगिनः प्रयाता यान्ति तं कालं वक्ष्यामि भरतर्षभा अग्निर्ज्योतिरः शुक्लः षण्मासा उत्तरायणं तत्र प्रयाता गच्छन्ति ब्रह्म ब्रह्मविदो जनाः धूमो रात्रिस्तथा कृष्णः षण्मासा दक्षिणायनं तत्र चान्द्रमसं ज्योतिः योगी प्राप्य निवर्तते शुक्लकृष्णे गति ह्येते जगतः शाश्वते मते एकया यात्यनावृत्तिम् अन्यया वर्तते पुनः नैते श्रुति पार्थ जानन् योगी मुह्यति कश्चन तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु योगयुक्तो भवार्जुन वेदेषु यज्ञेषु तपस्सु चैव दानेषु यत्पुण्यफलं प्रदिष्टम् अत्येति तत्सर्वमिदं विदित्वा योगी परं स्थानमुपैति चाद्यम् ओम तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्म विद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुन संवादे अक्षर ब्रह्म योगो नाम अष्टमोऽध्यायः। ओम श्री कृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः।
ओम ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Very good. I think everyone is very comfortable reciting Bhagavad Gita, and that is really wonderful. All right.
Thanks to Ishwari.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. And
Thank you
then
so much.
next class we will start the 9th chapter. And as we discussed last class, we will limit some, learning the recitation of the verses. We'll do one time. The words separated or broken, and we will do 2 times, combining all the words the way it should be sung. So we will cut part of our learning. Most of you are comfortable, so we can try this for 1 chapter and see how it goes. And then if we need any adjustment, we can do that. Next class we'll meet 2 weeks from today will be the Thanksgiving weekend. We'll break for that class. We will have a holidays. We'll observe all the STP classes will observe holiday during that week. So we will have no class 2 weeks from today, and then we'll resume continuously. Okay. All right. Wish you all the best, and we'll see you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaskara.
Namaste.